Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day, making it positive, making it amazing, making it everything it needs to be and more. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. All right. It is Friday. Hey. Give it up for the weekend, y'all. Okay. Thank God it's Friday. Okay. I know some of y'all are very excited about the week being over and getting some time to get some much needed R&R. And also, for those of you guys who are weekend warriors, let me keep it real. Some of y'all are still working throughout the weekend. I'm sorry. Okay. Some of y'all are saying, hey, this ain't even my whole week. All right. This ain't even the weekend. Some of y'all are just getting your work week started today. So all you guys, hey, I really do appreciate you guys coming through, rocking with me, because, hey, you guys keep the lights on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? Giving us excuses to get out here and let our hair down. I mean, I don't have hair, but you get what I'm saying, okay? So I appreciate you guys for being here. We got a quick show for you guys today, all right? Last night was an epic one, and I do have hopefully something planned for you guys later on this evening around this case. Yes, we're still on it, but I got something else, another pop-up video for you guys that will be coming on this afternoon. That's something completely different. Get us off this subject just for at least a hot minute before we have a very special guest coming on this evening, if everything goes according to plan. Like I said, today's show is a very, very short one, okay? Or it's shorter than the other shows we've done recently, okay? So we got to get things moving. But before we get into everything, real quick, if you're interested in winning some new money in the new year, please go and download that Swagit app. The link is down below underneath me. It's also pinned to the top of the chat right now in the family chat. Click on that link, download Swagit app, follow me, The Pascal Show, comment and like a couple of my videos on the app, and you are instantly entered to win $100. Yes, new money in the new year. So go download Swagit app immediately so that you get a chance to win some new money and get some new money in your pocket in this new year. Okay. But also, as you're doing that as well, looking into it and downloading that, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot. And also, do not forget to crush that subscribe button. Be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. You know, I talk about a lot of things on this channel. As of late, it is about the Idaho 4. Okay? But I do talk about a lot of things on this channel. So be sure to crush that subscribe button. All right, guys, we got to get into this, guys. We have got to get into this. Now, let me say this first and foremost. I really do appreciate everybody who came in yesterday, late last night, to have a long conversation with me, talking about everything that was going on. Let me just say, there was a lot to talk about. There was a lot to break down. There was a lot to digest. There was a lot of questions to ask. We still don't have a lot of answers to this affidavit, which was redacted like a mother lover, okay? This whole affidavit is not the whole affidavit. You feel me? It's not the whole thing, ladies and germs. It's not. And I keep wondering, why was it redacted? Why was all this held back? Or why were certain things held back? Again, a few things I just want to point out before we get into the nitty-gritty, all right? Because we got two main subjects that we're going to be talking about in this very much shorter show today. But one thing that I noticed is that we have a lot of information from Dylan, but we don't have a whole lot of information from Bethany's perspective. And I keep wondering, why is that? Okay? Why is that? And I will say this, though, too. Queen Kimberly just said, and I agree, but it was still a lot of info. Yes, there was. Oh, absolutely. I'm not knocking the affidavit. Hold up. Let's pump the brakes for a second. I'm not knocking the affidavit. The affidavit was very, very. There was a lot in there, and to me, it shows to me at least. I'm convinced that they 110% have the bad guy. That Bryan Kohberger is the bad guy. That's what I feel in my bones after all that research, all the explanation, the DNA on the button, how they found the knife sheath, etc. To me, they got this mother lover. He's detained right now in Idaho, and he is facing a trial. But there was a lot in the affidavit that was left out. Then there's, of course, the question that we talked about last night, which is a question that everybody and their mama is talking about in these internet streets, especially on the Twitters. There's a lot of twits being thrown out talking about, hey, what's up with Dylan? Why didn't Dylan call 911? Why was there such a delay? Long. Quite a pregnant pause, for lack of a better term. Why was it 6+ hours? Why was it more than 6 hours till she actually called, till someone used her phone, or till there was a 911 call? Let's just say that. So all of us have been scratching our heads trying to understand it all, the affidavit, what was being said in this affidavit, trying to understand where everyone's remains were found, so on and so forth. Like I said, it's going on and on and on, right? But I will say there is a lot of information in that affidavit, but it doesn't answer all of our questions. So we will still, of course, have more questions until they keep putting out more information. Now, one of the things that we are still trying to figure out here is, what was it like following, right? What was it like following this dude? All right, this supposed monster, Bryan Kohberger. As we already know, Bryan Kohberger is the man that is suspected of doing these unthinkable things, these monstrous things to these four University of Idaho students on November 13th around 4:00 in the morning. They followed him, allegedly. They were surveilling him for 4 days straight. Not only during his drive across country with his papa, with Papa Kohberger, but also as he's doing his stuff, living his life in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. So a lot of us are wondering, how did they know? How did they get him? Was there any suspicious activity that he was doing? Aside from him walking around, going to grocery stores and grocery shopping with gloves on, what else did he do? Was there anything else that would prove that maybe he the bad guy? Well, take a look at this. Okay? This dude was wearing surgical gloves whilst, I repeat, whilst wiping his car clean. Yes. And then also hiding trash in his neighbor's bins, but he didn't do it. That don't look guilty. I'm just saying, that's just asking for a friend. Because to me, that screams guilty. Suspicious. To me, at least. Maybe you guys think different. But let's get into this, shall we? So, BK seemed to try to do everything he could in order to prevent investigators from obtaining his DNA. I mean, and I'm just going to finish the sentence because it just drives me nuts, okay? Wearing gloves and even hiding his trash in a neighbor's bin, according to a new report. Now, let me just say this really, really quick, okay? Now, let me just say this, okay? Okay. So, didn't he say I was innocent? Didn't he say that? I didn't do nothing. I innocent. Then why Why? Why in perfect hell would you be walking around these streets in Albertsville, Pennsylvania, these mean streets, going grocery shopping, wearing gloves, then on top of it, hiding your own trash in other neighbors' trash bins? Why? Why in perfect hell would you do that? To me, that screams guilty. Screams it. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. This is the dude that took his white 2015 Hyundai Elantra from Moscow or from Washington State University, drove it all the way back to Pennsylvania with his papa in it. Then as he got there, he proceeds to walk around wearing gloves because he doesn't want to put his fingerprints on anything. And then, as we hear in this article, he's throwing trash in other people's bins. And it's not like the trash bins of his own were full. So he's just like, well, ain't nobody around. And this trash can is overflowing. My gosh, oh my gosh, this trash can is full. It's overflowing. I don't want us to get any tickets. God forbid a deer gets into it, or that feisty little dog across the street gets into this bag if I put it down on the ground. So let me go over to the Smiths real quick and just put it in their trash bin. That'll be great. Really? And some people are going, but maybe he's innocent. Bruh, no. I'm sorry. No. This screams guilty. I'm sorry. This screams guilty. Let's get into this, all right? Oh, my God. I only got into the first one sentence so far, and I'm already lit. Okay? Let's go. All right. A law enforcement source tells CNN detectives kept tabs on BK while at his parents' Pennsylvania home in the days leading up to his arrest. The source claimed BK cleaned his car inside and outside, not missing an inch. Now I understand like maybe OCD. Some people just love their cars. You know what I'm saying? They just love their cars. You know, this is my ride. But this is I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, let me not knock anybody who loves their Hyundai Elantra, because I know some of us are driving that car right now and probably going, this is my baby. This is my pride and joy, right? But really, though? He goes cleaning inside and outside, not missing an inch. I just, to me, I don't know. It's a Hyundai Elantra, okay? This ain't a Mustang. You know, this ain't his Cherry, okay? Sorry. No offense to anybody who takes good care of your cars. I'm sure you do. You keep it pristine. But at the same time, you're seeing a dude doing this, and then he's doing this on top of this. Not only that the source tells CNN, Kohberger was observed wearing surgical gloves around the home on more than one occasion and seen leaving the family home around 4 a.m. one morning to place trash in a neighbor's bin. Of course, if the report is true, it would appear BK had a hunch authorities were onto him and possibly trying to get his DNA. Why would he go and do all this? You know, and Danielle, even you're right. Isn't it registered under his mama? This is his mama's car. And I get it. He's outside of the monstrous things he's done. He's a student. I get it about money, and maybe you don't have a whole lot of money being a PhD student. I'm sure you're just scraping by, so on and so forth. So I get the whole car thing, and maybe mama said, "Hey, you can take this car. That's fine." But at the same time, he was still riding around, and doing this. Hold on, let me slow down this chat real quick. My beautiful mods, a little bit of a break here today. It's Friday, okay? But given the fact that they were also saying that he walked out 4 a.m, he likes being out early in the morning. Don't you see that pattern? But 4 a.m, he was placing trash in another person's bin. That doesn't look suspicious, guys? That doesn't look suspicious at all? And we're going to go back to this diagram here in just a minute, because I know a lot of you guys sent me many layouts of the house where this tragedy took place. So we are going to look back at that in a second. But doesn't that scream guilty to you? I'm sorry, it's done. It's a wrap. They don't even need the knife, in my personal opinion, but I know it's the law, right? And I think what happened is, too, after getting pulled over twice, he started getting scared. Like he was probably going, oh, thank God. And he drove the rest of the ride home to Albertsville to his parents' house. Hi, Mom. Hey, Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah. But then he realized some heat. He felt the heat is on. He felt it. Okay? He felt the heat. So he was like, okay, I really got to make sure I get this stuff cleaned up. So he cleaned up all that stuff with surgical gloves, walking around with surgical gloves at the supermarket and all that stuff. Just no, that's not suspicious. That's not suspicious at all. As we reported, cops say BK's phone pinged near the house at least 12 times before the 4 college kids their lives were taken. In chilling court documents obtained by TMZ, one of the roommates, and we already know about all this disturbing stuff, okay? One that's saying it's okay, like this dude had the audacity to say this to a young woman as she is leaving this planet. It's okay, I'm going to help you, right? Then, of course, we already know about the moment that Dylan had crossing paths, from the understanding of the affidavit, crossing paths with this monster. Now, I've heard other theories that maybe she cracked open the door just to see what was open. It's not like she just swung it open and said, "Guys, shut the..." And then as this man walks right by her, there's some people saying that she may have cracked open the door. You see what I'm saying? May have cracked open the door, and then as he's walking by, that he did not physically brush his shoulder against her. You know what I mean? As he's rushing out the sliding glass door. There is that theory too. Okay? But again, B12, you're right. She went to that door 3 separate times. So she just cracked open the door 3 times? See, to me, I feel like the third time would have been like, third time's enough. I need to find out what the F is going on, and I'm tired of everybody acting like, y'all need to stop getting rowdy out here. I need some sleep, right? And then I'd be opening up the door, being like, what the? You see what I'm saying? Third time, I'm getting up to go to see what the commotion's all about? I don't know. But then again, we've already talked about that to exhaustion last night for like damn near 3 hours talking about that. We will circle back on that conversation tonight on our conversation very, very soon. But let's get back into this, okay? And I will get to your super chats in just a minute, okay? Or at least the super chats that we have thus far. And again, thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for the support. Definitely go and download that Swagit app. Support in any way you can, all right? But from what we know right now, this piece of work took surgical gloves, put them on, went to his car, and cleaned the car. Now, here's the other thing I didn't say. I get somebody wanting to have a pristine, beautiful, glistening looking car. Don't get me wrong, okay? We all have our rides that we live in these cars, right? And they are a representation of ourselves. So I'm not knocking anybody that just wants to go and wash their car inside and outside. It feels good when you have a nice, clean car. But the thing I have to ask is, why was he wearing surgical gloves? If he was just regularly, just washing the car in his Daisy Dukes in a white tank top, just having a good old time, just woo, you know what I'm saying? It'd be different, you know? But he was wearing surgical gloves whilst cleaning this entire car. That makes no freaking sense. Then he took the evidence, he took all the stuff, and then he took it to another neighbor's trash can in the middle of the night or really early in the morning and then dumped it in the trash can. Surgical gloves, 4 a.m., dropping off this stuff. It's like it's like his collection of dirty mags. He didn't want his parents to see his collection of dirty magazines, so he has to get rid of them. And clearly he can't put them in his trash can. So he's just taking the dirty magazines and putting them over in the neighbor's trash can so he doesn't get caught. Come on, y'all. It ain't that. It screams guilty. Screams guilty. Okay? Yes, I said Daisy Dukes. I'm sorry. Okay. Exactly. Porcupine pancake art. Doesn't everyone do that? Duh. Especially dudes love wearing white tank tops and really, really short Daisy Dukes all the time, especially when they're washing their rides all the time. It's a thing. I don't know. It's a thing. But it screams guilty. Okay. But let's get back into this here. Okay. There's this diagram that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, it doesn't let me do that. But let's take a look at the first floor. Okay. So clearly, from what we understand right now, because that one thing that I think that all of us were actually absolutely shocked, okay, absolutely shocked with today or yesterday when we talked about it late last night, was that Dylan's room was on the second floor. Everybody and their mama was sitting there going, oh, understandably, I was even saying it too, that Dylan and Bethany were on the first floor. But actually, Bethany, it sounds like, is the only one that was sleeping or had her own place on the first floor. So the second bedroom that's on the first floor was probably the person who had her name signed to this, okay, to the lease, that wasn't living there anymore. Or it could have just been an empty, no one actually claimed that room, right? So first floor, Bethany was in there in one of these rooms. Okay. So here is the second floor. Of course, they say this, and if you can see my mouse, okay. If you can see my mouse, this is where Ethan and Xana were found. Okay. In this room here. Now, from my understanding, the way I took the reading of this affidavit, I thought that maybe Xana was in the hallway here, was found on the way in to the bedroom, and Ethan was inside the bedroom. Okay. Now, one thing I will say, let's just blow this up a little bit more. It's a little bit, okay. So that's from my understanding. But I know a lot of y'all were going in there and saying, hey, this maybe, maybe not, maybe you're wrong, right? That they were both in this room. But the way I felt it was said, it was the other way around. But anyway, I digress. All right. So this other bedroom is right here where Dylan was sleeping. Dylan's room is right here on the second floor. Here is the sliding glass door right here, guys, as you can see. I know you're probably watching this on your phones and stuff and all that. I apologize. I made it as big as I could, okay? Ha! That's what he said. Anyway, moving on. Sliding glass door, okay? She's in here. So she opens the door, whether she cracked open the door or she swung it open and said, "What the F?" Okay? He still walked out of if you're following the mouse, walked out of this hallway, passing this bathroom as described, turning the corner and walking straight out through the kitchen through the sliding glass door out to the patio and probably off into the woods. She is still right here. So she definitely if she stood out the door and said, "What the F?" kind of thing, she still would have had him crossing her, still having him cross her path. Look at this. Within this diagram right here alone. And we're just talking about Dylan's perspective, Dylan's investigation or Dylan's testimony, okay? This is only her perspective. So she opens up the door the third time finally, okay? Third time, again, for the final time. Probably angry as hell at this time. Opens up the door, swings it open, I think, because she's probably trying to say, she's about to probably go over, stomp over to the Xana's room or something like that, pound on the door like, "Y'all need to stay quiet," whatever. Or like, "What the F is going on? I'm trying to sleep." And this guy came walking. And I'm assuming he was briskly walking. So again, here is my mouse. He literally walked out of this room, turned the corner. There's no way she didn't cross paths with this man. There's no way. Unless she cracked open the door just like a little bit, just a little bit to see through the crack of the door to see what was going on and saw him maybe cross her visage, right? Beelining straight to the sliding glass door. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Okay. Now, of course, this is the over here. This is the third floor. This apparently is Kaylee's room, or was Kaylee's room, and this was Madison's room where Kaylee and Madison were found, and of course, where the big piece of evidence, the knife sheath, was found, laying right next to Madison. So that's one piece I just wanted to show you guys here. That bang. This path of walking. Now, this is the other thing too. And I want to say this too, because now that we have this information and see this, she may not have seen anything. Because if you really think of where she is and she's looking in that angle, she may not have been able to see anything. If there was somebody on the floor, in the hallway, even there's a wall. There's that bathroom wall. Look again. Imagine this is Dylan standing here, just looking this way, right? She can't see through that. She can't see into the room. So even if the door is wide open, she wouldn't have been able to see because the bathroom wall blocks it. There's a whole hallway that blocks all this. So she didn't know anything. She got scared. She closed the door behind her. She locked it. She went into that room, petrified, mortified. I'm sure just everything you can think of that went through her body. I think she fell asleep, woke up and said, "Oh my gosh, I need to," then got up, maybe checked around to see if there was anything crazy going on, if she heard any more noises. and then maybe saw what no one would want to see. Maybe, right? But then again, you never know. But that's one piece that I wanted to share with you guys because that's something that I think explains a little bit more. At least they explained it to me. It helped explain a little bit more for me, at least. Okay. Um. Oh, this is just another article of the same thing. So, so I ask you guys what you think. Okay, you got a dude out here. Before I go into this next segment, I'm going to go through these super chats too. But what say you guys? Because I mean, if you really think about it, you got somebody out here. He is literally having the audacity to say, "I'm innocent," and then you see his day to day for the last 4 days before he got arrested. He was already doing things trying to cover his tracks in a way. So if somebody who is innocent is doing that, like, why would somebody who's innocent go out of their way to do all that stuff? It's very strange, y'all. It's very strange. It's a dead giveaway to me. Dead giveaway. Okay. Real quick before I get into these super chats, thank you so much, that chick Jules, for being a member for the past month. She says, "Didn't Steve say he didn't need to go upstairs?" Makes me think that maybe Xana or Ethan might have been his sole focus at first. Okay, one thing I'll say is if Xana or Ethan was his sole focus first, then why was he found leaving after leaving that room? Because hold on, let me show that again before I go into these super chats. Let's take a look at this. And that's a good question. Thank you so much for the question, and thank you so much for being a member for the past month. I appreciate it. But let's take a look at this diagram one more time. Take a look at this diagram. All right. The stairs to the third floor, if I'm correct. See, these are stairs from the first floor. Then these are stairs to the back of the house. Why? Now, maybe what she said is when he crossed paths with her, maybe he did come from the stairs that were right next to her bedroom. Or he came through this way and beeline straight out the door. Either way, when he left, everyone's soul was gone. So that's the thing I have to ask. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Let me see if I still have it here. Do I still have the doggone thing? No, I don't. Damn. I thought maybe I had the affidavit right in front of me that I can show you guys, but let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Just a little quick trip down memory lane. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find it again. A little cross-referencing. Where the heck is it? I thought I had it. Two seconds, guys. Okay. Let's look at this one more again. All right. Check this out as a family because we got to cross-reference. This is just how we do. All right. So, blow this up. Okay. I want to make sure because maybe she says it in. Come on, where you at? Because maybe she says it in the thing, in her testimony or when she was interrogated in her statement. So no, we already know about all this stuff. She made statements, interviews, so on and so forth. She went to bed in the south side of the second floor, which we already know. Dylan stated she was awoken approximately at 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Goncalves playing with the dog on the upstairs bedroom, which was located on the third floor. A short time later, she heard what she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from the forensic phone showed that Xana was on her phone, on her cellular phone, using the TikTok app around 4:12. She stated she looked out of the bedroom but didn't see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. She also stated that she opened the door a second time and heard what she thought was coming from Xana's room, right? This is the part that doesn't make any sense, okay? So that was 4:12 approximately that she heard something along the lines of someone is here or someone's here, something like that. Then at around, so she opened the door during that time, when she heard what she thought was crying from Xana's room. Dylan then said she heard a male voice say to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Then, approximately at 4:17 a.m., a security camera located on the across the street, basically picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. Then the dog started barking numerous times around 4:17. This is when she opened the door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a man dressed in black with a mask walking towards her. Now, real quick, walking towards her. Again, a man, all black, walking towards her. She didn't say coming down the stairs. She said walking towards her. Remember where this room is, okay? This room is right next to the stairs. If he was coming down the stairs, I feel like she would be saying he was coming down the stairs. At least that's how I would take it. He's coming at me, coming down the stairs. But she says he was walking towards her. See the mouse? Walking towards her, and then boom, runs out the door, through the sliding glass door. That's how I'm taking it. I don't think he came down the stairs. I think he came into this room right here. So the theory of maybe Xana and Ethan being targeted first, I think they were the last. I think that they were the last. Let's go back to that one more time. Here it is. She thought she heard Goncalves say something along the lines of there's someone here. Then, and that could have been, and I could be wrong, but that could have been Xana saying that. Could have been. Okay? Maybe she heard just voices. All right? So that was about, and of course, Xana was using the phone around 4:12 a.m. because she was still on her TikTok. All right? She looked out of the bedroom, didn't see anything when she heard a comment about someone being in the house. Then she stated she opened up the door the second time when she thought she heard crying from Xana's room. So maybe she said something, maybe it was loud enough for even Bryan, this monster, this piece of trash, to go down to that room. Because maybe it was no witnesses type of situation. I don't know. But then he does some very bad things to her, to them, to both Ethan and Xana, to the point where he says, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Okay? Then, about 4:17 a.m., because remember, look, 4:12 is when she's using the TikTok. Xana was allegedly still using TikTok around 4:12 a.m. on TikTok. That's from what the phone was showing, the data. So whatever happened at 4:17, 5 minutes, she heard something. Maybe she said it too loud. Remember, they also said that the interior of that house, you could basically hear everything that from other people who used to live in that house. You can hear people walking upstairs. You could hear conversations. It was very thin walls from what they're saying. So what if BK heard her say, there's someone here? And it wasn't Kaylee, but it was actually Xana. He goes downstairs, and then 5 minutes of absolute pure hell happens to these two. So by 4:17, that's when you hear the whimper and a loud thud. The dog starts barking. She opens up the door again for the third and last time, and she sees a man walking towards her, not a man walking down a flight of stairs. Again, let me show this to you one more time. We're moving on. Stairs to the third floor right here. Xana and Ethan's bedroom. He is walking out of here, and as he's going here, you know for a fact he needs to walk physically. He needs to walk towards her so that he can turn into the kitchen to go out the sliding glass door. So just taking it very literally, I think Xana and Ethan were the last. So I do not think that they were a target at first. I think maybe Xana said something, or maybe it could have been Ethan. You never know. Voices and noises bounce very strangely sometimes. You may think you're hearing something right behind you when it's playing right in front of you. You see what I'm saying? The way that things reverb and audio, how sound bounces in a room may have made her think that it was coming from above, but maybe it was happening right down the hallway. Bryan heard this, went down those stairs, did the unthinkable. That was the final sound that got the dog barking, the loud thud. Dylan heard this, opens up the door for the third final time. He walks towards her and runs out through the kitchen, through the sliding glass door. That's how I take it. Okay? That's how I see it. But again, my theories can be completely, absolutely, and utterly 110% wrong. All right? This is just theory. But let me get into some of these super chats, and I appreciate everybody here. And let me say this too, because it just kind of it just caught me just a second ago. You know, may these four rest forever in peace, because this is not a way that I would want even my worst enemy to leave this planet. So may they rest in peace, because this is just, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. But let me get into some of these super chats. And again, if you haven't done it yet, please go hit that like button down below. All right. Let's see it go past. I'd love to see it go past 1,000 likes. Let's get it to 1K. That would really, really mean a lot. All right. There's over 2,100 plus souls in the chat right now. I do appreciate y'all. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. All right. Do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button, babies. That would be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Bad Girl, thank you so much for the 5. BK thought he was being slick, but law enforcement was clocking that house. Yeah, stay blessed, Pascal. You stay blessed, Bad Girl. Yes, I agree. He thought he was slick. He thought he was like, yeah, man, I duped them. Yeah, I can't wait. I finessed them all. Right? Heisman Trophy type thing. You know what I'm saying? He thought he was unstoppable, but he was walking around. He cleaned the house with surgical gloves. Who does that, y'all? Or not the house. He cleaned the car, I'm sorry, with surgical gloves. Who does that? Okay. Kayleen, or Callan, sorry, Calleen, something like that. I'm sorry if I messed it up. Thank you so much for the 10 CHF. Hey, Pascal, like your streams, like your screams. Sorry, like your streams. It's like listening to a good friend's point of view about all these crazy things. Keep it up, bro. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much. You too, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Maritza, Thank you so much for the 10. Hello, Pascal. I'm dying to know his reason for sparing the surviving roommate's life since he came face to face with her. Was he rushing out? Thank you for the coverage. I think he was rushing out. I really honestly do think in my heart of hearts, deep down, I'm telling you, I don't think he had any plans on taking more than 2 lives. I think he walked in there planning on taking Madison and Kaylee, but then he heard other people up. And I think he was thinking no one should be left behind. Right? So then he went down and he did those 2. Why he moved on from Dylan? I honestly think he was exhausted. I think it was a lot of like he was exhausted and maybe he was too scared about getting caught. Because then he's like, damn, how many people are here? And I think he got scared and ran. That's what I think. Because if this was really his first time ever doing something like this, because we still have to play that card too. If this was his first time ever doing something so unthinkable, if that's the case, he's probably still shocked. He probably was still shocked at all that he had done, let alone 2 more people on top of that. He probably was shocked. And then going, I need to get the hell out of here. What the hell? There's more people here? Kind of thing. Maybe. Okay? Maybe. It is a wild thing, though, for real. Okay? For real, a wild thing. AF, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Death penalty. I feel like a lot of people are feeling that way right now, and we're going to be getting into that very shortly with the Goncalves family. They had some things to say, so we will be watching that as a family just in very shortly. Maybe they didn't want to say she just peeked out the door so the defense can't say she didn't see it, because that's massive if she can ID him. One thing she did say, she described his build. She described bushy eyebrows. She said that she could not see his face except for his eyes and eyebrows. That's quite a bit. That's a decent look through the night, right? Through the really early mornings of 4 a.m. So she saw something. She definitely saw something, which is still just devastating. Again, I can only imagine what was going through her head. AF, thank you so much for the 10. Now you can see how he was coming right at Dylan. Exactly. How awful. Don't judge this girl. She saved her own life. Exactly. I feel that she just froze. Traumatic. Maybe she went into had an out of body experience. I don't know, and God knows what kind of chemicals were in her body during that time. It was a Saturday night. Okay. All the other ones, the 4 were out kicking it beforehand. They weren't. You're saying that Dylan and Bethany may not have been doing that too? This is college. Of course they were going out and kicking it. But yeah, Connie A just said on just a second ago, froze for hours. Yeah, that's the part I'm still wondering what the heck happened there, or if there was communication with anybody else. Did she make a phone call, or did she just go radio silent and stayed locked up in her bedroom? Still questions, man. AF again, thank you so much for the 10. Killer got X and E first, then M and K. Heard X crying, went back and then left the scene from the kitchen. That could have been it too. That layout could have been it too. But it still makes you wonder who passed first. And the only person who's going to really know this is him. So you're hoping that maybe he's going to speak up and tell the truth. Jamie, thank you so much for the 20 euros. I appreciate it. Absolutely heartbreaking. They had a fantastic night and enjoyed nice food. And then this monster did this. It makes me angry just to think of it. If only travel I think, oh, if only time travel existed. Sorry. Yes. I wish we knew what was going on with this. Really. I really wish we knew more. Danielle, thank you so much for the 10. I think Dylan was the one found unconscious from fear and shock. Yes. Bethany is the one to go find Dylan unconscious. And to me, that would explain why she didn't call 911, in my honest opinion, but I could be wrong. Love your show. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe Bethany is the one that called on Dylan's phone number, on Dylan's phone. Maybe she did pass out from fear and shock. She passed out for a long time then. Ashley Veers, thank you so much for the 20. None of that makes any sense. A camera at another house caught audio, but she heard nothing but a couple remarks. Having a hard time with this. You're so scared you freeze, lock your door, never call the police until noon 30. No. Yeah, like I said, the pattern is strange. The pattern is absolutely strange. Pedrowski, 84, thank you so much for the $2. I just want to hear you say, all right, all right. All right, all right. Snork Y2K, thank you so much for the 2. I want to know if he saw the previous cop cams. I don't know. But that's a very good question as well. Jode girl, thank you so much for the 5. Sadly, I think Xana's DoorDash delivery sealed her fate. Yeah, because it happened at the same time when he was allegedly going into the house. So, yeah, maybe. It's weird because he may have, because she could have been smashing that Jack in the Box, looking through her TikTok and heard this stuff go off. And maybe she got up to see what was going on. And then, unthinkables happened. Maybe. Or it could be a slew of different timelines here. But the fact that there was a DoorDash guy dropping off food does make me wonder what happened, right? What was the full turn of events? He only has that answer. He's the only one. Jamie, thank you so much for the €20. I share home with somebody who is really difficult to get along with. And most days we want to get at each other, even though we would never harm a fly. I have no idea how someone could unalive 4 innocent people. I'm wondering too. I mean, there's trust me, I've had roommates in my day too. I've had some great roommates, and then I've had some roommates from hell. But yeah, never would I ever. It's just wild. Mrs. Coco B, thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate it. She may have been right to stay quiet and not come out. BK did return technically. I think they left a lot out of the affidavit, so we'll have to see. I'm wondering. I'm wondering the same thing. I mean, I hope that they just start coming out with more information. Like they just came out with this whole thing of saying, hey, this is how we knew for sure, even more. This solidified our theories, made it more ironclad that he's the bad guy. He was wearing surgical gloves to clean his stuff, his car. Then he took all of his stuff, all of his trash, his own personal trash, and was putting it in trash cans that weren't even his trash can, in other neighbors' trash can. He really did not want to get caught. That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane to me. So I appreciate all that, guys. I really do appreciate all the super chats. Of course, I'll read more super chats as they come in and all that. But one other thing I wanted to show you guys is this too. And this is the piece that I thought was interesting as well. So Idaho cops did contact the K-Bar knife sellers to try to tie the suspect BK to the weapon. Okay. But they say that there's no records of someone buying one under his name. Now, I don't think that maybe they have thought about this by now. But I'm going to just read these bullets really quick. So a spokesperson for K-Bar has denied selling directly to suspect Bryan Kohberger. However, the suspected monster could have purchased the weapon from a reseller or a retailer. Absolutely. Okay. Police resources said that a sheath found, of course, we was found at the scene, fits a 7-inch hunting knife. Now, one thing I do want to point out, okay, this could be anybody. This could have been given from him from a friend as a gift. This could have been a family heirloom type of situation that was passed down from his grandfather in a way to him. He could have gotten this. I even said it yesterday. He could have bought it at a pawn shop. He could have bought it at a yard sale. He could have bought it anywhere. He could have bought it online on Amazon. The possibilities are endless with where he got this knife. I thought maybe it was something that was passed down to him as a kid, or passed down to him when he was young. Maybe a family member gave it to him, like, you know what I mean? And it got passed over to him. And he had it through his college years maybe. But he could have gone to a pawn shop and bought this. He could have. I also think that they need to start searching through all of his credit card, debit card purchases, etc. Everything. If they even can go into his internet search histories and all that, they need to go through all of them, all of that stuff, and maybe they can catch something there, right? But we'll see. Real quick, Ashley Veers, thank you so much for the 5. Didn't someone already come out and post the receipts from him buying it on Facebook Marketplace? I have not seen it. So if that's personally, that would be news to me. So I haven't seen that yet. Jamie, thank you so much for the €10. Do you think his internet search history may be a bombshell for the trial? It could very well be. That's why I feel like they should just grab everything they got, everything that they can from him, and just comb through it. Leave no digital stone unturned. But I would love to see proof positive of him purchasing that on Facebook Marketplace. And I'd like to see the proof, though. Because now people are messing things and making things fake and all that. So for me, I would really want to see something proof, court documents. You see what I'm saying? I want to see proof. But let's take a look at this too. And this is where we're getting into this next part, where the family does speak out, and they are definitely wanting, things to be wrapped up, if that makes any sense. So justice is when you leave the planet. Then we'll forgive him. That's what Kaylee Goncalves' parents said, and they're asking for the DP. And of course, they're saying that they are numb when seeing BK in court, and I don't blame them. I'm sure it's an out-of-body experience, absolutely surreal seeing this information, and just heartbreaking. You just never expect something like this to ever happen to you, to your, let alone a loved one, let alone someone near you. There's 2 people that, in this interview that I'm going to be showing you guys just in just a second. It's just devastating to hear this family speak on Madison as well, saying that she was their daughter too, because they grew up. Those 2 grew up together, and you lost 2 at the same time. It's disturbing. and heartbreaking all at the same time. So I got this video. Hold on, let me do that again. I got this video, an interview from Banfield. We're gonna watch a little bit of this, but it does say, I mean, it's the family speaking out, and they definitely have some things to say. Be sure to hit that like button, or be sure to hit the number 1 and to let me know you guys can hear this. Let's take a look at what they have to say in this interview.
Mother and father of Kaylee Goncalves. They've been patiently waiting by. Their attorney, Shannon Gray, is also standing by as well. And thank you, all of you, for doing this and giving us this opportunity to touch base with you. I know this has got to have been one of the most difficult days of your life. Steve, let me begin with you. Your reaction after laying eyes on the person accused of doing this horrendous crime against your family.
I just looked at a guy that looks like a normal, everyday, kid. I mean, I didn't see anything there that caught my eye. I just was overtaken by the fact that I was in a courtroom going over a case that had to do with 2 people that I cared and loved about. It was a little bit unreal, but I was just overtaken by the moment.
Christy, I can imagine that is an understatement, being overtaken by something. You're in a club no one ever wants to belong to. There are so many others across this country who have been through what you've been through and say the same thing. It's unbelievable. They're numb. Does that sum up how you felt? Can you tell me what you thought?
I expected to feel just this immense amount of hate. And I'm sure that will come. I think that I'm a little bit in shock still. But looking at him, I just felt nothing. I mean, I just looked at him and I couldn't take my eyes off of him, his every moment. And I just could not believe that he has done what he has done. And I had a sick feeling for sure. It was very emotional. But on the other hand, I just was numb.
I expected him to be a bigger monster and a more intimidating.
I mean, I'm like, this is the guy?
Yeah.
This is the guy that murdered our daughter.
Are you going to be okay with continuing these court hearings? Are you going to show up at all of these court hearings? This is a lot. It's a lot to process. Before this, you were just parents of a couple of really great kids and living the American dream. And now there's this new normal in your life.
I think we'll lean on the prosecutor to tell us if the information's going to be to a level. Like I've already told them what I'm comfortable with hearing about the family house. I don't want to hear any of the gory details. So there'll be certain days that we're there and certain days that we check out,
We have Shannon that will keep us in tune with that as well. And we have other family members that will be going on some of those harder days. They feel that they can be there because we know it's a long road, but and it's a drive for us. But we'll do it every day if we have to. We just don't want to give the bad details.
There's there on the screen. There are pictures of Kaylee as you're talking, and I'm always struck by how much she looks like you. Absolutely stunning.
You.
Just such a beautiful girl. Indeed.
Yeah, we didn't look
and
like that. Mama's girl.
She looks like you, Steve. She's got some of you too. I just wanted to get a sense from you about justice. What is it? What does it look like for you? I mean, you're just starting this process.
For me, it's going to look a lot like an end. I mean, justice doesn't have a room where you can read books and you can go to school and you can have 3 meals and you can have your vegan diet. To me, that's not justice. Justice is when you leave the planet and the whole world is able to rejoice and be glad that you are not there. That's justice, and we will forgive him. We will. We're not going to have that heavy weight on us. We will forgive this individual, and we will, but he has to pay for what he's done. And it's not just our daughter, it's all the victims he needs to pay justice to. And, you know, that's all I can say about it.
Wow. He said, he said what he said. He basically saying eye for an eye. You take these 4 out, you need to leave this planet. And we'll forgive you. But first, you need to leave. And then we can come to terms with it and forgive you through prayer and all that. But eye for an eye. Interesting.
Yeah.
Chrissy, it's always a shock to face the person who's alleged to have committed these horrendous acts and changed your lives forever. If you could say something to this person, what would you say?
I just, I wouldn't want to give him too much. But I mean, I would tell him that, he destroyed our lives in an aspect. Does he realize what he has taken from us, from these 4 families? I mean, Ethan was a triplet. Maddie was an only child. Xana had siblings. Kaylee was one of 5. She was the middle child. She had 2 older siblings, 2 younger siblings. Just the immense loss. I mean, did he really think? I mean, he did really think about it, which makes it really hard. But why?
And I would add to that if you were looking for cruel girls that were bullies to you through your life when you were struggling, you picked the wrong girls. My girls have been through a lot, and they weren't the ones to pick on somebody that because they were overweight or they were struggling and people weren't. They were actually the ones to stick up for you. So yeah, you picked the wrong person if you were looking for vengeance on some people that were mean to you in your life, and you picked the wrong community. And we're gonna have to hold you accountable for that mistake.
He just said, I think what a lot of parents will say, which I totally understand where he's coming from, where he's saying these girls these individuals, all right, these 4 souls didn't ask for this, that they were good kids. So he's sitting here going like, this is not something that they deserved, period. Eye for an eye.
Speaking of that accountability, has the prosecution or anybody from the prosecutor's office discussed the option of a death penalty? Because victims' families are consulted typically throughout the process, and this is an option on the table in the state of Idaho.
We've talked with them. We've had multiple meetings. I think they probably want to do it all the families together before they just approach one. That would make the most sense. But we've had meetings, but we have not crossed that actual
Question.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't even disclose just until recently that they were this close. They kind of said that, hey, give us some time. We think we have the right person. We're going to get this. But we couldn't go from that to death penalty or those type of details.
Do you both have a feeling as to how you would respond to that question once the prosecutors put it to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know.
We're glad that we live in Idaho.
Definitely.
I'm assuming that
Definitely.
you are in favor of the death penalty
Yeah,
for this
absolutely.
defendant.
If our daughters could switch places with him, and I'm saying Maddie is my daughter, we'd do it in a heartbeat. If they could sit there and have 3 squares, a place to live, and we could call them, we could write them letters, they could watch TV, they could get educated.
I would love if Maddie and Kaylee were doing life in prison right now.
Yeah, so
At least we could talk to them.
that's not
They'd be breathing.
a punishment equivalent to being killed. That's God's role. And if you want to play God's role, then you're gonna have to go answer to him.
I mean, what to say there? I mean, I don't blame them for what they want. I don't blame them for having this desire, this rage, this need for full and finite justice. I don't blame them for feeling the way they feel. Now, I mean, obviously, I leave that decision up to you guys on where you stand as far as the death penalty and whatnot. But I understand where they're coming from. I understand this. I do. You know, But let's continue. Again, I think it would be very difficult for any parent to know that, yeah, this man, this monster that took 4 lives in the middle of the night or in the early morning hours is living and breathing. Yeah, he's locked up. Yeah, he's going to have to avoid dropping the soap, but at the same time, he's still breathing. He's still getting, like he said, 3 square meals a day. If he wants to, add more to his education, he can. He can even get his doctorate while he could finish his studies while being in prison. But those 4 students cannot grow old, cannot get married, have children, nothing. All those experiences have been snuffed away, have been taken by the hand of this monster. Let's continue.
Do you know if the Mogan family feels the same way? I know you all are very close with the Mogans.
We have not talked to them about that. I was going to call her last night, and I did not. So I'm not sure.
Easy to talk about.
I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that that they will, but I can't say that for sure.
They're very forgiving.
I want to ask,
family.
It's incredible to hear the words forgiveness out of your mouth, Steve. It floors me. It's extraordinarily magnanimous. You're a very strong family if you're able to be there today, especially on day one of this process, seeing him for the first time. I would love to ask your attorney, Shannon Gray, if I can. Shannon, was there anything in the affidavit you didn't already know about? Are there things that you know more about than the public knows now?
Well, I think there were a lot of things in the affidavit that we had no idea about. The DNA and the sheath, we had suspected some things. The identification, I think we had suspected. But there were a lot of things that, there was quite a bit of information in that affidavit. I was actually surprised there was so much information in the affidavit. But, it looks like it's a solid case. And, I kind of look at the case in 2 different ways. As a former prosecutor, I look at it as a prosecution case, and it looks like a solid case. And then I flip the hat and I say, okay, as a criminal defense attorney, how would I look at it? And I still have a hard time with the evidence that's been mentioned in the affidavit. And that's not the entire case. There'll be additional circumstantial evidence that'll be provided that will make more connections, hopefully, with the defendant in the case. And like they've always said, it's not just a arrest, it's a conviction. So we're hoping that that's the case.
Steve and Christy, when we covered the tragedy that befell Gabby Petito, her father, Joe Petito, said that there were some lessons that he learned very early in the process, and that was to pay particular attention to your other kids because they are going through an immeasurable trauma. Have you had a chance to navigate this with your other kids, with Kaylee's siblings, and have you charted a course forward?
Yes, we have. Our 2 are adults and they are grown, and we have talked to them, and they know, they can reach out to grief counseling and whatnot. And we are very open, and we talk a lot about it. We cry a lot about it, and that's not always enough. But our 2 younger children, right now, we're kind of letting them do their own grieving for a little while longer before we start some grief counseling with the church. They have some great people for us to reach out to, and we plan on reaching out to them. I've been talking to the pastor on a daily basis, and he has some really good, they go through grief counseling himself as the pastor, and he has a team like for teens and whatnot. And he feels that they are like the best, and I trust him. He's a great man, and he's got us through a lot here lately. And yeah, we feel that we just don't want to throw it on them, because right now they're like, no, we don't need that. But I don't see how they cannot not need that. They're young, and they're heartbroken, and they're confused.
Yeah, this is their friend and sister.
Yeah.
All I can do is hope for healing for their family. Of course, they are going to they have a long journey. Okay. They have a very long journey towards the path of forgiveness, towards the path of healing. I mean, they're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff for a long time to come. But one thing that I want to point out is they said they will forgive, but the forgiveness is going to happen when this man is not here anymore. That's the way I see it from what they're saying here. That I don't think that they can find forgiveness in their hearts for someone who's still on this planet, still breathing in this air, still got their heart beating, the air in their lungs, all that stuff, being able to have all these privileges of life, even though while being incarcerated, that person's still alive. Again, like the mother said, his family can go visit him anytime they want while he's incarcerated. He can still celebrate holidays. Yes, it would be behind bars, but still, he'd be able to do all those things. He can still smile. He can still laugh. He can still cry. He can still have all the other human experiences that we all have in this life. He would just have it behind bars. But how can a family really, they feel that how can they really truly forgive when the man is still here? That's the way I see what they're saying. Now, I know some people are adamantly against that type of fatality, or that infinite, or not that infinite, that finite, that finale, okay, on some cases. And I leave that opinion up to you guys. But I do understand the frustration, the anger, and of course they want to be able to forgive and move on too with their lives, of course, and still make sure that their daughter and those 4 lives were not taken, that they're not in vain, right? So I'm hoping that just like Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, Gabby Petito's parents, hopefully they are doing something positive with this tragedy, and fighting for others that are out here that still are seeking justice right now, right? But for right now, they need to focus on this trial. They need to focus on getting this man, making sure that these charges and whatever the conviction happens, making sure that stuff sticks. And if they're looking for the death penalty, then they need to make sure that everything that they have, all evidence, etc., leads down that road. Autumn Jones, thank you so much for the 5. Still don't understand why his dad went to Washington to drive back with him. I'm still trying to understand that too. He's 28 years old. He's a 28-year-old grown man. I think they knew what he did. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have about that too. I'm still wondering that as well. And one thing that Sandwich just asked during the time we were watching this video, yes, Dylan was in another room. Bethany was in a completely different room as well. Bethany, from what we understand, was on the first floor, and Dylan was on the second floor, across the way from Xana and Ethan. Just so you guys know, just to reiterate that really quick. Ashley, thank you so much for the 5. If you Google his name and purchasing it on Facebook, the article will come up. You should definitely read it sometime if you're not on the show. See what you think. I will take a look at that. I'm not going to do it today, right now, but I will take a look at it before tonight's show. By the way, I will be having prosecutor Danny Ons. Danny On, if I'm saying that correct. Danny On is a prosecutor. She's going to be on tonight to talk about the affidavit, all this information, the weapon, the lack thereof, so on and so forth. What can stick onto BK, and what may not be able to stick onto him as far as these charges and all that. So we will be on tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about that specifically. Be sure to tune in because it's going to be a very educational one for sure, okay? I'm not done yet, so don't leave. I'm just letting you guys know about that. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be live tonight. We're going to talk this out with an expert, all right, in the game of legals, all right, and understand a little bit more of what we could expect with this upcoming trial. Okay. Mrs. Coco B, thank you so much for the 2. If proven guilty, an eye for an eye it is. Yep. I think that's what a lot of people are feeling. A lot of people feel that way, but some other people don't feel that way too. So I'm just, saying that really quick. Okay. But I think a good portion of the world is saying, yes, eye for an eye indeed. I got a couple more here. Joanne Nelson, hello. Thank you so much for the 10. How does he not have a chance? Yes or no? No. All is sad. P.S. I had my son taken from you too. Nobody cared. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I care, and I'm sorry that happened. I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened with that, Joanne. I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible news. I think that's it. Hold on. Yep, that is it. So, yes, I was going to say, I care. The Queen Kimberly said, I care. Yeah, I care too. We all care. And if you have anything about that, please send it my way. I'd love to hear about this. I'd love to dive into it and see what's going on. All right. But anyway, guys, that is the show for right now. Like I said, it was going to be a much shorter show than usual. But there's so much going on right now, and it's very, very interesting. More and more information is starting to trickle out. The more and more we talk about it, the more information starts popping off. Again, really quick, if you want to win some new money in the new year, be sure to hit that Swag It link in the comments section at the top of the in the top of the family chat right now. It will also be pinned at the top of the comment section once this show is over. So hit that link, download Swag It app, follow me, The Pascal Show, one word, comment and like some of my videos, and you are instantly in for a chance to win $100. And the winner will be announced very, very soon. So you still got a little bit of time. So get on it right now as soon as possible. Okay. But that is the show, guys. I appreciate all you guys for being here. It's been amazing. It really means a lot. I will be on tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. With prosecutor Danny on. It's going to be very, very great. Very, very informative. We're going to break this thing down. We're going to talk about this affidavit. We're going to get into the world and into the mind of the legals, okay? And get some better understandings of what the hell is going on and what we can possibly expect within this trial. So tune in tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on The Pascal Show. Also, do not forget to hit that like button down below. All right, that would really, really mean a lot. We're almost at 1K, so hit that like button before you leave. A like don't cost a thing, but it helps the show grow. All right, and we are growing indeed. And speaking of growing, be sure to hit that subscribe button, baby. All right, you know your boy's working hard out here in these streets to give you the information and the conversation that you need for the day. I got one more super chat. Let me grab that really quick. L Woods, thank you so much for the 2. Why do you think he chose not to harm Dylan? I'm assuming you're thinking of as far as the girl. I think he was exhausted. I think he didn't want to press his luck. I think that too. I think maybe he didn't want to push his luck. So he was just like, and he just beelined out the door. That's what I think. It's messed up, and as jacked up and messed up that is, that's my theory. I could be 110% wrong, but eventually the truth shall come out, right? We just got to stay vigilant, sit back, and wait. The truth will come out. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow, but it will come out, and it will come out sooner than you think. Okay, guys? But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Download Swag It app. And I'll see you guys tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. See you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.